Oh my god. Guys, we have literally traveled to the other side of Jakarta to come to this place. It's called 43 Martabak, and my head is absolutely blown by what we were about to eat. This is a proper traditional Indonesian street food, and it's literally concoction of bread, pudding, and you know what's so interesting about it? The history of it, because you know about Middle Eastern cuisine, you've heard of Murtabak, which it originates in Yemen and is this folded bread, basically thinly layered, almost like a pastry, until it's nice and fluffy. So the concept of that forms the basis of this, except over the years, Arab Muslim traders brought that concept to Indonesia. That merged with another Chinese dessert in its entirety, and together over the years it has formed the Indonesian version of it, and they've kept the Arabic name at least. And I must say this is very, very different to the Yemeni form of the Murtabak that I've had, in the sense that this is definitely sweet and it's more like a cake. The process of making it is unreal. They get this really yeasty, spongy mix. That's the sort of batter, and they shove in so many eggs, and they literally beat that to a pulp continuously, non-stop, for ages and ages, until it's really light, fluffy and bouncy. And then they basically pour that on a skillet that I think is designed specifically for this. It's very thick, and the edges and the rims are slightly flat, so when it comes out there's like this big circle that's very, very dense, and then around there's like a thin, crispy layer that's formed from the skillet. If that's not enough, once it turns into almost like this crumpet cake, they absolutely lather it in butter and margarine. And when I say lather, I mean it looks like they get through about 400 pots, tins of butter and margarine a day. Anyway, that's enough chit chat. I'm gonna go straight in now. So once the butter is on, the traditional way of having it in the standard form is to absolutely lather it with chocolate, with nuts, and get this, cheddar cheese. Cheddar cheese. Now what I found nuts is once you leave Europe, you actually see parts of the world love using cheese in a dessert. Kunafa in the Middle East, and obviously here in the Murtabak. Let's go. Oh my god. When I say, I literally feel like I've bitten into a bar of butter. It's been warm and is melting. It's room temperature. That is unbelievable. That chocolate has melted, so it's so sweet. The crispy nuts add a whole lovely crunch to it. Almost giving it like a Nutella hazelnut vibe. Mate, give me something.
The cheese, the chocolate.
You've had a lot of desserts in your time. Give me something here. How does it rank?
That is up there, man. That is absolutely up there. The texture of the dough, the fluffiness, the airiness, the peanuts, the crunch, the chocolate, the cheese goes so well.
No words. By the way, those holes, they look like a crumpet. They're that airy. Oh my god. You know, I'm gonna stop filming so I can eat some more. This guy's about to finish it. I think, guys, genuinely, this might be one of the best desserts I've had anywhere in my life. As you know, I don't like over sweet desserts. I kind of like it when they're a little bit on the savory side. This has got that fine balance. It's bready, it's carby, it's heavy, but it's just got a wonderful amount of sweetness from the chocolate, and that butter and margarine just, oh my god, turn it into an absolute fatty, gooey, comforting bit of beauty. Honestly, this is unbelievable. So dense, and then you get a crunch. I mentioned the exterior stays a little bit crunchy. You get a crunch from that as well. Guys, come to Jakarta literally come to this place just for this. It'll be worth it. The trip will be worth it. Oh my god. It is excruciatingly hot in here. I'm sweating like a donkey. And the one antidote to that is a fresh coconut drink, basically. Coconut water with bits of coconut flesh in it, with some ice, and there's some sort of sweet jelly in there as well. Oh, well, you know when something just, you're not even drinking it, your body's just absorbing it through the process of osmosis. That's basically what's happening to me right now. So that's a great way to refresh myself before we go to taste the real reason we've come here. We've come to a place called Nasi Goreng Kamping, which is one of the most popular places in the entire country. It's got almost 19,000 reviews on Google, FYI, and is very highly rated. Now, Nasi Goreng is basically a fried rice. You can choose the meat. In this case, we have chosen chicken, and basically it's a pre-cooked fried rice, but it's basically soaked in the sweet soy sauce that the Indonesians absolutely love. 19,000 views, super popular, and guys, I can't wait to tuck in. We've got an omelette. You can get fried egg or an omelette on top. We've chosen to get an omelette. There's some crispy bits on there, and then you've got this sambal infused vegetable side dish. It looks like bits of cabbage and cucumber. Enough chit chat, let's go. Oh my word. The flavour in that rice is absolutely delicious, and I feel like Indonesian rice, or this particular rice, is quite different from what we've been having, because we've been having very sticky, gooey rice, and when it sort of sticks together it almost turns into like a rice flour dumpling. This is the first place that we've eaten at where the grains of rice are completely isolated. They're not moist, they're not sticky, they're literally dry. So the texture is completely different and the flavors are unbelievable. That sweet soy sauce that's coming through alongside a pretty spicy vegetable side dish, by the way. Let's not miss out on the omelette. Brilliant. Oh my god. Actually, that egg genuinely takes it up a notch. Also, another traditional way of enjoying this is with a cracker on the side. This is almost like a noodle cracker. I've never seen anything like it. It's little bits of noodles almost. Let's try a little bit of this. Oh wow. You guys know by now that the Indonesians love crackers. Let's do cracker, rice. Go. If you want Nasi Goreng in Jakarta, come here. Guys, we finally arrived to Sate Padang Ramon, which is one of the most famous local spots to try satay. But the great thing about this is, unlike any of the satay chicken that you and I will ever have had in the West, particularly London or anywhere else, because satay chicken in the form that we know it is usually of a sort of Javanese concoction, and that's the one that's been popularized and exported all around the world, traditionally cooked in, you know, peanut sauce. You guys all know the flavors and you know how delicious it is, but that is very Javanese. The place that we've come to today is different because it's actually from the western coast of Sumatra. So this is a different style of satay, and you don't really realize the rich variety of different types of satay you can get until you come to the land in which it was invented. We're currently on the island of Java in Jakarta, but this one comes from the other side, and we're told it's very, very delicious and much loved by the locals, and it's slightly spicier than the standard satay that you'd be used to having. Now, it's also served with basically a rice cake. I'm told this is a really interesting way of having rice as well. This is literally pure rice, and it's wrapped in some sort of leaf, could be a coconut leaf, or, you know, some sort of bag, and it's boiled for hours until everything is sort of squished together to create more of a cake, a dense, bouncy texture. So let's give this a go. So we've got beef satay here, literally little chunks of beef that are first seasoned very well and cooked on a hot flame grill, and then they're dipped in that special sauce that they make here. Here we go, bismillah. This little restaurant, it's 2 branches, and it's developed a cult following almost amongst the locals, and you can immediately understand with that one bite. That beef is absolutely delicious, so flavoursome, and when you bite into it, you get the nutty flavour, but slowly afterwards, you get a release of the spice. It's got a very good kick to it. And that rice cake is totally delicious. I'm gonna move on to the second dish that we've got, because this is actually a mix. Another thing that sets this place apart is they use different body parts of the beef. So we've got a bit of tongue, we've got offal, so sweetbreads, kidney, lung, liver, all the rest of it. And you get a mixed selection of those bits. So I don't even know what this one is. We're about to find out. I think I got a kidney there, could be a liver, but the texture for that is very different to that. It's a bit more chewy. Flavour is quite similar, but the texture is different. Crispy shallots that they top this dish with are so delicious. Add a lovely crispiness and a whole different flavour dimension profile to the dish. Brilliant. Hands down the best satay I've had in my life. I've had some very good satay, but this is unbelievable. And you've got to try it. When you come to Indonesia, you come to Jakarta, make sure you try this iteration of one of the world's most popular foods.